Welcome to the show before the show, where I check to make sure everything is hunky-dory. I'm your host, Patrick Moritte, and this is another Brew Master. Took a break for the holidays last week, or back this week, for the punishment. That is Simic. No, it should be fun. I was requested to do this a while ago. If you couldn't tell, the legendary we're discussing today is from Kaldheim. However, I'm doing a little bit of research on Moritte, to see if there's something more to do with this general effect. It's only of benefit if you were to have her come in as a changeling copy of another permanent that wasn't a creature, you don't get the benefit of the +1/+1 counter business, right? Which is kind of what we're going to be manipulating. This is such a weird legendary, but I'm glad it was suggested because it plays into a strategy that I generally don't work towards in Magic at all, which is persist. So we're probably going down that route, but I have to say that Simic persist is kind of finicky. But we'll see if we can't make it work. Anyway, hey guys, how are you? How's everyone doing? Let me tune in with you. Mark McCoy, what's poppin'? Well, right now, Mark, not too much. Not too much. The laptop running strong, chugging along here. It's poppin', I guess. I took a little break from Doom Eternal a second ago. I gotta say, have you guys played Doom like 2016? And have you tried Doom Eternal? 2016 was better from what I recollect, or maybe I just enjoyed it more. I swear, every 5 minutes of Doom Eternal, it's stopping to give me a tutorial. It's like, oh yeah, and when you kill these monsters, if you don't kill this nearby totem, they'll keep respawning. I'm like, cool, now I can like work on these weapon masteries or whatever. Like I'm trying to get the pulse, the heat wave mastery, and I need to kill 2 things at once with that ammo, which is constantly running out. I swear, Doom Eternal, I feel like they've thrown so much at you, the player, that it's almost impossible to master any one thing, especially with like the shortage of ammo. I'm sure it will be better once I like upgrade my ammo modifications, but any rate, complete aside, the game is fun, but it's like, I don't know how best to approach any situation ever. It's like, do I start with a flame belcher and then go for like a frag grenade and then just start nuking people with my guns? I don't know. And then there's like the blood punch mechanic that's new. Any rate, that's popping. My heater's popping. The lovely thing in this build, I swear, every year it gets louder and louder. And apologies if you hear it, but it's keeping me warm and I have no control over it. That's what's popping. DS Magic says, hey, how you doing? Flex the watch of the day, Nathaniel says, funnily enough, I was wearing my Grand Seiko like all weekend, and it is over in my bedroom. Today was like a self-care relaxation day before another long week, and I just didn't put a watch on, but it was my Grand Seiko. And how about this here? I'll put this on. It's my Casio G-Shock. It's not as cool as the Virtual Armor. I don't know if you guys have seen the Virtual Armor G-Shock that's fully titanium, like milled out links. It's hot shit, but it's $1,600, so I don't recommend it. If you have the money in your collector, buy it, because it's like the nicest G-Shock I've ever worn. But this is great as an alternative, and it's fully metal. Is it machined as nicely? No. Is it steel as opposed to titanium? Yes. But it's fantastic, and it looks really cool. It's like straight out of Tron. I don't know if you guys can make out like the lines on the watch face and the bracelet and the case. It's awesome. This is usually what I wear when I'm just putzing about and none of my watches are set, because this thing is always set. So there you go. That's the watch I'm wearing today. But yeah, I've been wearing this Grand Seiko pretty much all weekend. I really love that piece. Anyway, Do you have modern suggestions? JK. Uh, no. Do you need modern suggestions? I'm sure that there's someone out there that does a stream that could help you. I solely play in Brew 4 Commander, so this might not be of any help, but if you are looking to build this list, this might benefit you. Love your content. Use your deck list as a guide for my Tiny Bones. Mark, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not brewing anything mono black right now, but the next list I want to put together in person is going to be in paper rather, and subsequently in person is going to be an Orzhov list. I've been in and out of building like my own personal decks, and then obviously what I do for the channel. But Arden and Tevesh is one I've been in and out of for months, ever since Commander Legends, and I've just never settled on a particular take. But that's one I really want to get squared away. And obviously, the list I play most is Oswald, and I still have Sithis in paper. I'm going to deconstruct Rograk and Tevesh. I enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not really a huge fan of just like, regurgitating ad nauseam as quickly as possible. It's just not fun or exciting for me. And then my Belby deck, which I love, but is so... She can either be really bad or really good, and it all depends on your opening hand. And far too often, I just don't have the luck that allows her to shine as often as I'd like her to shine. But out of my personal decks, that's what I'm rolling with right now. I have Tiny Bones up there, but... I haven't played it in a while. It's tricky. I swear, it's slow, and you draw so much attention, and people love beating you down because you're in black. And your life is a resource, but it's not like you're going to try to do anything at breakneck speeds like everyone else. So you get an undue amount of hate, coupled with the fact that you're not even going to be benefiting as quickly as some of these other lists that are trying to aggressively and proactively push a win with a, commonly seen black cards. So it's difficult. It's a difficult list to triumph. But when you do win with it, oh, so rewarding. JK. What's your thoughts on changing the base strategy in Golgari Elves by adding Door of Destinies? I'm curious about Commander, but haven't yet started building a deck. What do you say is a better deck, if funniest deck in Commander? What would you say is a better deck or funniest deck in Commander? Funniest deck. There's so many approaches you can take to Commander, and it's important to note, this is a cEDH channel. We play, there's an expectation when you come to the table, like any of my play groups, that you are going to be playing with lists that are tuned or tweaked to the highest degree, and they should be all popping off at what they're supposed to do every single game, right? So we don't really do any like meme decks or anything of that nature. I'm trying to think of like a list that's inherently funny or intended to be humorous. I've not played one, nor have I seen any, so I can't really answer that. I suppose anything in 4 to 5 color would arguably be the best, right? Or anything that includes Grixis would be considered the best. And anything that manipulates Thassa's Oracle for a win would be the best. But if that's of interest to you, that's what I would start with. It's very much autopilot. You just need to look for certain cards in the list and or use your tutors to find those cards. And once you sort of set that up for yourself, it's just a matter of having the right interaction to ensure that, strategy A goes off. And what's nice about using strategies that revolve around Thassa's Oracle and things like Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pack, is that the CMC is so low that you're going to have the mana, outside of that to hold up the counter interactions. And for the most part, most blue counter spells that people are mystical tutoring are going to be free anyway. So just some inherent problems with cEDH. However, there are fun lists in that. I guess fun in a non-meme sense. My favorite list, you said funny, right? Funniest deck? I wouldn't say it's funny, but the funnest deck that I own would be Belby. Because on turn 3, you can have like an 8-drop Ugin, or in some instances, you can like have Kozilek down just that early. Like a 10 drop Kozilek. And there's nothing funnier than that situation, because it's just not something you'd expect in a cEDH setting. But when you do play that card, it's hard for people to stop you. And that's the only deck I have that has counter interaction, right? Like that deck, you can counter anything, and then you draw up to hand size, and very, very fun when that occurs. That's the funniest situation I can think of, at least in the decks I own. All right. Oh my god, Moritte. I love this card, and all my friends made fun of me when I tried to make it work. Well, this is actually a list that was suggested for our Brew Master segment, and it's for Isaac Barnes. I'll start off by saying that now. Isaac suggested this list a little while ago. I never got any particular guidance on what Isaac had wanted, just that Isaac wanted to see more at work. Obviously, I think the general go-to strategy with Moritte, and probably what we're going to stick with, at least from my general observation now, is that there aren't that many great like remove +1/+1 things that will effectively work with Moritte that I'm seeing in Simic, outside of the fact that you can utilize Moritte with copying a creature that provides persist. We can get into that in a second. But the general strategy for Moritte, I feel, is in existence. How we get there today is what's going to be interesting. So I'm excited to build Moritte just to see how effective it can be. And obviously, you know, these Brewmastered lists and any cold brewed lists that we do on the channel, these are made in less than 2 hours. So are they going to be the most optimum? Probably not. You know, I try my darndest, and of course with your help, we get as close to a cEDH deck as we can, given the choice of legendary or legendaries. But I think Moritte's definitely got pretty good odds here. It's an interesting strategy. And again, I never play for persist. Like if we're playing cube, I never play for persist. It is usually the most difficult strategy to set up because of the amount of components necessary. But the fact that Moritte is in the command zone, you know, makes this a little bit easier. The fact that she's 5 CMC though, damn, why did you have to make this card 5 CMC? I don't know why it's 5 CMC. We'll go over the basic stats in a second, and abilities obviously, but it doesn't make total sense to me. My Naru deck uses Thassa, but it doesn't need that. I could mill Swarm with Thopters or deck you. Art E says, yeah, you don't need Thassa, but let me tell you, it's a lot easier that way. You can use like a Blue Sun Zenith and your Whispers of the Muse or any sort of cantrippy card to keep pulling in. Any of the Zeniths gets shuffled back into your deck. If it's the only card in your deck, you draw it, and then you can make everyone draw themselves out, right? So there are alternatives in mono blue to winning, especially when you have infinite mana and your deck in hand. Like, you don't need Thassa's Oracle, but there are sub-strategies that play even in mono blue to that effect. So even blue, Dimir is like the next best thing. Then Grixis is really sort of the 3 colors that thrive best on Thassa's Oracle. And then any 4 or 5 color deck that incorporate blue, usually in a pretty good spot. D's balls! Is it possible to build Yuriko into Prison and have it be high power? Certainly. I feel like you could certainly make a high power Yuriko. A Yurlock, I'm sorry. I'm like, I've definitely, I don't know why I read it that way. I've definitely seen really good Yurikos. We've done Yurlock on the channel. I wish I could link it to you. Wait, maybe I can link it to you. Hold on. Yeah, so Yurlock is pretty good, but we did a mana burn build that I found to be fairly effective. And, sorry, closing on my Safari. I was trying to pull up the Yurlock build we have done. If you look up Yurlock, though, on the channel, you can find the one we built. I think it's fairly good. You're in Jund, so you've got a lot of strategies just right there. But Yurlock gets to do some fun things. The idea, generally being, though, is that Yurlock is an outlet. So I would check that out and see if it's something you want to try. Art says, Moritte is my Fiend Hunter deck. Is your Fiend Hunter deck? Moritte is my Fiend Hunter deck. So Fiend Hunter's a white card. I don't know what you mean by that, but I believe you. I believe precisely what you're saying. I'm looking for a scotch for my wedding on $5,100 range. What would you recommend? You're looking for a scotch for my wedding. Do you mean like you need multiple bottles of scotch for a reception and or the wedding dinner? Or is this just a thing to treat yourself and like your buddies with, right? It depends. If you're looking for something in $50 to $100 range, I like peaty scotches, and the thing I'm drinking right now, I couldn't give you a great suggestion for a non-peaty scotch, but personally I drink Lagavulin, and Lagavulin 8-year and 12-year. I think you can get 12-year under $100, but either of those fit into that $50 to $100 range, and they're great. You can find Ardbeg sub 100 too, and Ardbeg's like this really lovely like dark green bottle. If this is just for you and your mates or you, and you just wanted a nice scotch for your wedding day, Ardbeg's great. I think Wee Beastie is their varietal. That's like, it's $80. I would check that out. They're both great, but you gotta like peatier scotches, just smoky drinks. Like, have you ever had a mezcal? Like, it's very smoky. Same story with a peaty scotch. I haven't had like a general scotch in a while. Oh, I don't know why I'm calling it a general scotch. You get what I'm saying. I haven't had a non-peaty scotch in a while. These balls, consider Glenfiddich 12. That's great. You know, Ernesto, what does Ernesto drink? Wait. I feel like if he's just buying a cheap bottle, he gets like... I feel like Glenfiddich is what Ernesto drinks. I'm sorry. So I could recommend that, I guess. I feel like I've seen him drink Johnny Walker Red. Like, you can get any Johnny Walker, and it's going to be okay. Red is like the low end for them, but it's fine. But do the Glenfiddich. Do Glenfiddich. I think that's what Ernesto drinks. I can neither confirm or deny. But if you're on the Discord, at Plasma Beam, and ask him, as I totally forgot, Ernesto loves scotch too. And on the non-PD side. So, there you go. Is this deck based off of Kaldheim? Steven, I don't know if it's going to be a Kaldheim themed list, although that would be kind of cool, at least a way to angle this deck so that it's unique in a sense. But no, we're going to go and build a Moritte as cEDH as possible. Let's see here. Caber says, Simic. I know I'm the Fibblethip guy, but this is one of my favorite casual commanders, and I'm super interested to see how it transfers into cEDH. So am I. Because I'm really curious to see if it does. Art says 5 color. Yeah, I'm assuming this is just to corroborate my story. Let's see here. Have a great stream, Trent. Thank you. Hopefully you're here for it. I don't know. I know Simic's not your thing. Any non-scarab thing's not your thing, but I hope you enjoy it. Even though I know nothing about cEDH. Well, welcome. So far as cEDH is concerned, all that really matters is that if your deck is aiming to do a thing, that it does it with consistency. That's all that really matters. If your deck's a stacks list, you're trying to shut people down within the first 2 turns, ideally turn 1, then make sure your deck does that, right? By whatever means necessary. If it's having a very relevant commander that has a stacks element to it and powering out that commander, sure. If it's just being in relevant colors for stacks, sure. If it's being in a proactive list that can very quickly, belch out and ad nauseum, sure. Whatever your general deck strategy is. Like if it's Oswald for me, very niche. Can I quickly throw down Oswald and start putting stacks pieces down that are relevant to the given game? Totally. So long as you do that consistently, you're good. You're good. I find playing off general, I don't know. Generally what I play is not what's regarded as the top tier, and that's totally fine because there are expectations from commonly seen lists. You have a general idea of how those lists work, so sometimes it plays to your favor to do something more obscure, which is what I enjoy. Even though I know nothing about it. Yep. Glenfiddich is a good low end for sure. Yeah, it's not Demir, but it's still interesting, and I usually hang out. Well, if you're hanging out for this one, I'm happy to hear it. And might as well start this one up right now. Welcome back to the 99, where we're focused on brewing a better competitive commander. And would you know it, on today's Brew Master, Isaac Barnes suggested Moritte of the Frost from Kaldheim, one of the uncommon legendaries for us to work on and make cEDH. All right, that means competitive. For those of you who don't know. And that's sort of what I try to do on this channel, sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully, but with your help and our general guidance, I feel like we can get Moritte to where she needs to be. And Simic's in a pretty good spot already. So, without further ado, let's get to brewing, babies. All right, so I have Moritte of the Frost right in front of me here. You should be able to, oh my god. You should be able to see her. Let me know if you can't. But, Moritte. Let I pronounce her name? I don't. Okay. She's 2 generic, a tree, and 2 teardrops. So 5 mana value total. Legendary snow creature, shapeshifter, 0/0 body. Changeling, you may have Moritte of the Frost enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control. That's like the first strike against her. Why did it have to be a copy of a permanent you control? Like at 5 CMC, you should just be able to copy anything. At 5 CMC, it should be anything. But, I mean, uncommon, sure. Except it's legendary, which doubly sucks, because now that legendary thing you want to copy, it's not going to be a legendary thing. But if it were, legendary rule applies, and then, one of them gets screwed. And snow in addition to its other types. And if it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it, and has changeling. So quite a bit of text. For the most part, Moritte's going to enter as a creature, and as a creature, it's going to get 2 additional +1/+1 counters and have the keyword changeling. That's largely irrelevant. I haven't looked into any sub-strategies where changeling is going to be relevant for us. Changeling just means it has every subtype known to man, so like shapeshifter here, but it's also elf tribal. And it's also Goblin, Tribal, and Simic. It's whatever you want it to be, right? And everything at all times. So that's kind of cool. I don't think it's going to be hyper-relevant for us, because the keyword we're really going to be looking for, if you couldn't tell by this little Selkie, what are these called again? This little cute little bugger here. It's a persister, and persist is going to be like the main thing we focus on. Persist is our main concern with this list. Because if you know how persist reads, and we'll look into it in just a second, might as well just look up the keyword persist. Oh god. But with commander, colors, and Simic. So there's a few, but we'll just look at the Glenelendra, sure. Glenelendra Archmage, I should state. Because otherwise, if it was Glenelendra, well, it would be legendary, and we'd run into problems, but I don't think she's a persister, so. Okay. When this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Well, when it re-enters the battlefield, it will come with 2 +1/+1 counters and 1 -1/-1 counter. And in those instances, all that really means is it's going to come in with 1 +1/+1 counter. So if it had some effect that said, you may remove a +1/+1 counter. I don't think any of these are going to have that. You could do that and have some fun with that. If it says you can sacrifice it to do a thing, you can do that and continually do that. Unfortunately, we're in Simic, so it's not like there's impact tremors or anything that I can think of. I'm sure there's some effects where if a creature were to enter the battlefield, right, or leave the battlefield, there might be something for us to do. So maybe airy oofs would be a good idea. But for the most part, I'm thinking of just handing maybe like 2 staple persisters and then some general effects that will benefit us, like a blasting station or something that's going to maim or otherwise destroy our opponents. That's the goal I see in my mind. And honestly, if we're trying to rely on Moritte as our commander here, it really does seem to be pushing towards relying on becoming a persister. It's just the fact that it gets +1/+1 counters. It counteracts the ability that makes that a non-infinite combo by making it infinite. So you resolve part of the persist line issue by just having a commander that gives itself +1/+1 counters, which is kind of cool. And the Kelpie, the Kelpie that I highlighted is a cool one because whenever it or another permanent enters the battlefield from a graveyard, draw a card. Well, provided we had a way to sacrifice Moritte, we would be able to do that, you know, until we would deck ourselves and just draw our deck or draw into a better solution, right? That would be fast mana and so forth. The only issue here is River Kelpie's 5 mana, Moritte's 5 mana. That's a lot of mana. That is 10 mana for a singular persist combo. Not to mention that we need a way to kill Moritte on top of just having River Kelpie out, right? So is that really the most logical choice? I don't necessarily think so. And obviously, if someone has a better strategy in mind for Moritte, let me know, because I've never built Moritte. But for Isaac Barnes' sake, let's just try to give him the best Moritte we can. On that note, I think it's probably good. It's probably good to just look at our lands. This is a very general layout of lands. I wouldn't say that this is the optimum land base. It's just what I strung together for this deck. We can modify this, obviously, add anything new that I might be missing from this. This is definitely a temporary option. I don't know how valuable artifacts are going to be, but it's a new one that tutors. Why wouldn't you use it? And we're in 2 colors, so you can get away with the generic. Islands are generally more usable or useful than forest. If blue's a part of your color pie, blue is going to be a large part of it. So we're going to go with more islands than forest, and we've got Gaia's Cradle. So if we've got enough creatures, then you're going to get enough green out of that. And Moritte has 2 generic in its cost. So she's going to want Ancient Tomb. And maybe even a City of Traders, but I didn't go that far. All right. Sitting in with you guys. Thoughts on Moritte? Obviously, again, I think the general strategy would be to go for persist, and we can look at which persisters we should go for. And obviously, once we've resolved that, the next thing to figure out is what outlets we want to use. And for this, again, like a blasting station makes a lot of sense to me. But I want to see what you say, what you think. Even if we had something that said whenever a creature enters the battlefield, like everyone sacrifices a permanent, or we sacrifice a permanent, or whatever the case is, like that would be a good way to recycle Moritte, right? There's also, isn't there like, yeah, Woodfall Primus, destroy target non-creature permanent. I wish that was any permanent. I mean, for 8 mana, damn Woodfall Primus. But even still, that would be really fun to destroy the board. Like, not getting rid of lands is kind of annoying, but also it's 8 mana, so I don't know if we want to do 8 on top of 5. Anyway. Hey, excited for more today. So am I, Matt P. So am I. Is there some kind of combo that you can use more to copy in the deck that combos with itself? Or do you use it to copy a creature that's... So, Kabert, that's the tricky bit. Like, it doesn't need to be a creature. I don't know of the A+B with Moritte. If there is one that exists, let me know. Like, if there's just an artifact or an enchantment or something that exists, that will allow Moritte to combo by herself. Let me know. That's probably the one we want to go for. Because if it's an A+B combo, that's better than an A+B+C, right? And that should be our plan A. But I don't know it. So, if you do, definitely throw it at me. Persist is black, though. We got some blue persisters. We got some blue persisters here, Trent. I was literally just building this when you went live. Super Tux. Oh my god. Okay. You will have all the secrets then. You tell me. Maybe we can help each other out. How about that? Finally, a Cauldron of Souls build. Oh, hey. Wait. This is something. So, it's important to note that when she does the copy thing, if she copies Cauldron of Souls, like, there's no summoning sickness. She can do the Cauldron of Souls thing, which is kind of cool, right? So, choose any number of target creatures. They don't... It can be your opponent's creatures. It can be your creatures. Obviously, I don't think you're going to want to do this to your opponents. Each of those creatures gains persistence till end of turn. I don't know if we're... I don't know if we're going to do that. I don't know if Cauldron of Souls makes its way here, but even still. The card, at least. Matt P. Cauldron is fun with Scorpion God and a janky build. Is there any combo this commander can do with Ozolith? Ozolith? Ozo? Is that how you spell it? Ozolith? The Ozolith. Well, they would both be legendary, right? So, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter on it, put those counters on Ozolith. So you're suggesting, I mean, she would have to copy like another legendary creature, right? Hope of Jiropor. She'd enter with +1/+1 counters and then die and then put it on Ozolith. I don't know. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all counters from Ozolith onto a creature. Man, I don't know. When I saw this, I'm like, man, it'd be cool if this was useful. I've not found a use for Ozolith. I haven't found one. But if you guys know, if you can crack the code, the mystery behind Ozolith, let me know. I don't know of any way to make. Wow, it's expensive for some reason. Is it being used? Is someone using this in Historic to some great effect? I really don't know. But it seems okay. Also, maybe that Simic enchantment that wins by you getting counters on things. Oh. I mean, just as a cool alternative win. Yeah, let's see if there's any. Do you mean Helix Pinnacle? Helix? There's a couple of like alternative wins in these colors. This one? At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 100 or more tower counters in Helix Pinnacle, or do you mean the Darksteel Reactor? At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter when it has 20 or more counters. What's cool is like if you did have a way to put charge counters on it, maybe there's a way we can make a lot of charge counters and put them on this. That wouldn't be a crazy thought, would it? I mean, or would it just be easier to do that? Probably just that, right? Oh my god. Civic Ascendancy, that's the card. Win with oh, you want this? Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. At the beginning of your upkeep, oh god. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing we can do, right? At the beginning of your upkeep is a very difficult trigger to try to ensure. Because before your upkeep, someone will Nature's Claim that, right? I mean, I hope they do. If it has 20 or more counters on it, that's kind of gnarly. I mean, and it's kind of cool if you had infinite mana at any time, you can just give the counters necessary. That's actually a really cool card. I've never seen anyone try to play with this and win, but it's certainly something you can do. Could Alter Dementia work? Infinite Mill, if I'm understanding this combo right. More, yeah, you could if she had Persist, right? So any, I mean, we'll use my favorite Persister. Let's just say Lesser Masticore. Because, you know, we don't need to be concerned about the colors here. It has Persist. So she comes in, she copies Lesser Masticore. Don't worry about the as additional cost. She just has Persist. If we were to sack her to anything, Alter Dementia, you're saying. Alter Dementia, she's going to have 2 power, so we would mill ourselves 2 cards. That's fine. You could also do Grinding Station. She would enter as an artifact creature Masticore, right? So you can use Grinding Station, much the same sense. It would tap and untap. But basically, you would be milling yourself into some form of solution. If providing ourselves cards in the grave was relevant, I can't think of like a good, you know, there's no real Dread Return effect or something we can do in Simic to get the Thassa's Oracle back to win. That's like the clearest line in my mind, right? It's not like we're rocking Underworld Breach. Wow, I almost forgot the name of that brilliant card. Yeah, it's not like we're rocking that and could cast it, nor black for Yawgmoth's Will, nor white for Savine's Reclamation. I don't know how we get Thassa's back. I'm sure there's a way in blue-green. Like, if it's just casting our Noxious Revival and drawing into it, I don't know. You could, though, and if you mean infinite mill to hit our enemies, yeah. Our enemies. Our friends. Infinite mill our friends. You could do that. Right? I don't generally rely on milling as a strategy to win, only because on the off chance that they have some form of like Eldrazi Shuffler, it just complicates things. I don't like winning with a mill. Also, people can still win over top of that. Like if I just mentioned Noxious Revival, if they have some way to put something back in their deck, they'll be okay, right? So it's tricky. I try to go for things like Blasting Station instead. Like, because this is just a sure thing. It's gonna do the deed, right? 1 damage to any target, that's gonna do the job. Without any concern or of like giving your opponent a turn. Okay. I've been building a Velomachus deck based on your deck video. It's very nasty. I am happy to hear that because that dragon is sick. I would really love to keep tweaking Velomachus. It's one of the better cards from that set. It's Strixhaven, right? And it's one of the cooler Boros commanders at that. It's such a cool effect. I just was so unlucky with the Brew Wars that we did. The fact that I miss a hit, I'm never gonna live that down. That damn dragon let me down. Okay, Civic Ascendancy. Yep. Love the persist idea. Thank you, Matt P. I don't know if I can't say I originated this, but I'm sure it's been done. Hopefully we'll do it better. A Scorpion God Cauldron of Souls build sounds funky. How does Moritte compare to Grumgully in terms of better persist colors? I would... I mean, I know that people have an affinity for blue and will just say that it's better, but I think the fact that Grumgully is cheaper makes this very appealing. But I like the fact that you get red. I'm actually a big fan of red, and not for Dockside Extortionist, predominantly for Underworld Breach. Like that, it's just a damn menacing card. It's a very good card. And obviously Underworld Breach here is really good because if our persisters were lost, you can use the Underworld Breach to bring them back, so on and so forth. And like Gamble becomes just 100% viable with Underworld Breach. Red is a very strong color. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's no real negatives to Grumgully here. Maybe we do a Grumgully build. Anyway, later, after this, Isaac still doing. Don't worry, still doing more. I'm gonna take a few more questions before we like throw in the lot of persisters. See if I can get that list up again. There you go. Okay. How does Ari Oofs not combo with Moritte Simic Ascendancy? Oh, I mean, it would. It would. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? My issue with Airy Oofs, is the fact that it's just so expensive. But yes, because it self-sacrifices, you can ETB, LTB, right? I think I briefly mentioned this off the bat. If we had effects that cared about this happening, we could do that. So you could do Airy Oofs. If you were to do Airy Oofs, oh god. Okay, so you have, let me see here. You have Simic Ascendancy down. You can't have Moritte down at this point. I'm trying to think of like a way to Court of Calling Airy Oofs out and then using Moritte to self-sacrifice and just come back and forth until Simic Ascendancy is like, you know, at capacity and you win the game. There's not really a great way to do that. So part of me just wants to stick with the lower CMC ones, like Lesser Masticore, and oh my god, God, we gotta have a Blake. Dang it, Wing Rattle Scarecrow. It's gonna be Lesser Masticore. In Glenalendra Archmage, oh, I don't know. Are these our best persisters? I want to keep the cost low, and at least Glenalendra Archmage has additive value, right? Like, and there's some good art for this one too, I think. Right? Look at that shit. Oh, we gotta use this one. It looks like a Pokemon, doesn't it? Yeah, we gotta use that one. All right, I'm sold. We're using Lesser Masticore in this, because this is great. My only qualm with using Glenalendra Archmage is that none of our, fine green creature cards will find Glenalendra Archmage, nor Lesser Masticore, right? So part of me feels like a Grazing Kelpie probably makes more sense. Puts a card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. That seems like good recovery on top of the fact that you have a creature you can hit. Like, if we use something like Eldritch, this is any creature, right? The ones that require a green creature specifically are like a Natural Order and Summoner's Pact. Maybe we can get away with it. Let's just do Lesser Masticore and Glenalendra Archmage. I think that's what I'm settled on. Don't sway me from this, okay? But we gotta go for the Glenalendra Archmage. That specific, yes, this one. Foiled, yes. Lesser Masticore. Got it. It's always the art choice, really. That's when you know you've like fully graduated in the world of MTG. by the choice of art you use in your deck. That's how you separate the pros from anyone else. Let's see here. How does Airy Oops now? Yeah, what's that make sense? Yeah, for a win con, could do Astronaut Altar and Walking Ballista. However, Simic Ascendancy is more swag. Damn. All right. I mean, you know what? I was here. Poll. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Starting now. The next minute till 7:31. Yay or nay? Simic Ascendancy as a win con. Then that kind of makes Airy Oof a little more advisable. But otherwise, we're going to look at things that say sacrifice creature. It's just sacrifice. See, when you say sacrifice, it's going to give us a lot of things. Artifacts, enchantments, creature. That's it. But yeah, yay or nay on the Simic Ascendancy. We can make that dream come true. If you all really desire that, we can make that dream come true. And remember, we can have Moritte come in as a Jeweled Lotus. Never. Never doing that. Let's see. Maybe we find a funky strategy. Was there a Moritte Zurin Orb strategy? Was there? I love this art for Zurin Orb. There's a couple good ones, right? This is a little different. Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm like, it looks like the From the Vault one, but it's not. I didn't know they did a new because this is the one I feel like we're all familiar. Well, the majority of us are familiar with, right? This original one. That's funny. I didn't know they did new art. This is really cool. How did I miss that? Anyway, see, those are the art choices I'm talking about. How you one up your pals, your opponents, with them sweet art choices. You throw them off their game with interesting art. Yeah, I'm like, how layered can Moritte get? Not that layered, but I'm interested in seeing at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature unless you discard a card from your hand. I know that's not gonna do it. We want a thing that says whenever, right? Whenever it enters the battlefield, everyone sacrifices a permanent, and you're like, yes, I can commit to that. And then we've got the best persister in the world. See, again with these damn art choices, man. Invasion's got some amazing art. As long as enchanted permanent is red or green, it has at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this permanent unless you pay its mana. Wow. Well, I mean, again, we're not going to use that, but that's really cool. Okay. I'm gonna keep researching these. These are our payoffs that I'm trying to find here. The next thing we want to look up is probably whenever enter, everyone dies. That's like what we want to. That's what we're trying to go for. Raking in the holiday seasons with death. Let me see here. There's a card that deals damage to each opponent when an artifact hits the grave. So the Master Core will win. There's a... what is it called? Junk pile? Hold on. No, junk... I think I know what you're talking about. It's not a... Whenever... No, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. It looks like a pile of trash. Is what... That's why I looked up junk pile. There is a card that does that. Sadly, it will only work with lesser Master Core, but that's, that's fine, I guess. That has to be the case. That's the case. Let me know if you find out what that card is, though, because we can look at incorporating it as a win con. All right, so it's been wow. It's been 3 minutes, and so far we've got yay times 100, yay, yay, yay. He's pondering the orb, and Phyrexian Altar sacrificing Art to get mana for Simic Ascendancy. Oh my god, we want the Simic Ascendancy. All right, so I mean that's enough yays for me. Simic Ascendancy sounds. I don't know if it sounds good, but it sounds like a choice. Oh, there's a promo. Foil. Wait. Oh, there's a promo. We gotta look at the promo. Wait. This is important. What are we winning with? What are we winning with? Oh, it's good. Did you make it that draft weekend? Congratulations. You have your win con. All right, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. All right, let's find another more practical win. Because mind you, Simic Ascendancy, like, we still need a sack outlet for that. All right, we're not using Airy Oops. Don't you dare. Don't you dare tell me Airy Oops, because we're not, okay? I'm not going to use Airy Oops. Too expensive. Can't do that. Gotta take ourselves seriously here. But Simic Ascendancy is something you can do with any sack outlet. So, I mean, I guess anything can become a win. And it's also just it's just a very quirky win. If we win with Simic Ascendancy, we are the best player at that table. At least you prove that much to yourself. Sacrifice a token. Glimmerbairn. God, Nils home. Can we just get an oof? Can we get... we need more of these little bairns. Did he make another one? They're so damn cute. Yeah, Gilder Bairn. God, they're so damn cute. I want every oof to look like this. Every oof. Not like that. This isn't even an oof. Why did she get the name Bairn? Why was that tossed in? Alright. Oh god, remember when Hapless Researcher was a played card? Okay, we need to find sack outlets that are useful. Please. Please. And you've suggested some decent ones. Obviously, it's funny, like the Phyrexian Altar, sure, specifically for Simic Ascendancy. But also, you know, infinite mana, colored mana is cool, right? I don't think we need infinite colorless, but infinite colored is good. And like, show them that you've got money with your Foil Invasion Phyrexian Altar. Scare them with your wealth. That's always fun. Counter target into a sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, where X is Mausoleum Wanderer's power. Huh. That's cute. Whenever another spirit enters the battlefield under control. Why do I like Mausoleum Wanderer? I actually like Mausoleum Wanderer. I don't know why. I guess Mausoleum Wanderer can get not Eldritch Evolution, but the other shitty one, the Simic one. You can do that to go right into Lesser Masticore. I like things that say counter. So we'll do it. We'll do it. Would have never found that otherwise. Merchant Ship. Looked at it for a second. Didn't need it. Just looking for another sack outlet that pleases me. Again, we could do Blasting Station. Yes, we could do Ultra Dementia, which was suggested, right? It's in black. Never mind. It's called Disciple of the Vault. Greater Good is very high mana cost, but will infinitely draw. Yeah, I like Greater Good here. I mean, if we have a lot of... Would Greater Good be worthwhile is the only question. Like, the only deck that Greater Good really sees play in is Sylvala. And with good reason. There's a lot of high-powered creatures in that deck. But otherwise, I don't really know. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Seal of Removal. Seal of Removal. I like the seals. I do like the seals quite a bit. Counter target spell that targets a creature you control. Don't like you as much as Wanderer. Can't say why. Neoform. That's the one. The lesser one. The not as nifty one. Yeah, we'll put that in there. We'll put Eldritch Evolution. I've been saying these words. They've been floating about. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Missed the beginning. What are we sacrificing things for? What are we sacrificing things for? The sheer chaos of it. No reason. No reason. No, we're sacrificing to win. I'm going to show you what the Shape of Snow really looks like. It's a storm, and it's blowing hard on our opponents. That's right. Take game night seriously. Deck the halls with their blood. Yeah, we're trying to sacrifice Moritte to win the game. That's all. Nothing big. She's a catalyst, but she's not the outlet. So the outlet needs to be something juicy. I'm looking for that juice. I'm looking for that bone-in ribeye rare right now. Okay? Hold the steak sauce. The au jus is enough, Master Chef. I shouldn't need anything else. But yeah, you know, sacrifice an artifact. Hold up. Did someone say persist? we're not gonna do Arcbound Ravager in this. That's just silly, right? But don't we need a creature with plus? No, wait. What did Simic Ascendancy say? Does this Lesser Masticore and Moritte do it? Hold up. What did it say? What's in the box? Let's look. Wait. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are. Well, Simic Ascendancy, Lesser Masticore, God. Moritte, Lesser Masticore, Arcbound Ravager, Simic Ascendancy. All you need is that, and you win the game. Just that. We're gonna avoid that, but we could do Altar of Dementia. I think. Did I add Altar yet? We could do Altar. Like if this is really what you want, we'll do that. Only because I like you guys, but also because we have a lot of tutors for these things. So you know, it makes sense to me. I like it. I'm gonna go down just a little bit further. You are right about Greater Good being an infinite outlet to draw the deck. You do need to discard down 3, so we're not gonna actually draw the deck. I think we're gonna discard our deck, but we could do that. What is that? Wait, Crown of Ascension. Who's this sad girl? She didn't get an Isochron Scepter this year. You know, she asked for an Isochron Scepter. They gave her a Ice Tiara in this shoddy imitation of Isochron Scepter. But what did she really get? Enchanted creature and other creatures that share a creature type with it get flying until the end of turn. Well, we have a Changeling in our command zone, so everything could get flying. How about that? Let's see here. Arcbound Ravager wants +1 counters. Excuse you, Neoform adds +1 counter. That's 1 more towards Simic Ascendancy. Get. Oh, you know what? You're right, Trent. I'm mistaken. I totally forgot. In this deck, it is an actually more powerful Eldritch Evolution that we get the +1. But this is only if Simic Ascendancy is down already, okay? Otherwise, it's useless. It's there though. I get what you're saying. I think Dance of the Many is a combo card. I don't know in what deck, but it is a combo card. Get a chance to dance with the many. Okay. Get your chance now to dance with the many. Dude, Dan? This is a sick-ass looking card. What is this? When you control no islands, that's never going to be the case. Can't attack unless a defending player controls an island. What an interesting card. Drew Tucker. Oh, your art is wasted. Okay. Fimblethip is the top steakhouse 5-star bone in Wagyu ribeye. Genius. But yeah, Ravager is kind of unneeded because him coming back each time, infinite plus counters anyways. Oh, by the way, to make you win on your upkeep easier, may I suggest Seed Time? Fuck it. You could suggest Seed Time. I mean, if you, we could do yay or nay on Seed Time in a second. If you guys don't know what it is, you don't get to cast it unless someone's cast a blue spell on your turn. You can only cast it on your turn, and you take an extra turn. Rebecca Guai art. Know your art. It's a good card. It's like, it's a very much, what is the set? The sort of fairy tale set that came out? I had like 2 boxes of that set. Oh my god. The Rowan and the girl came out in the same set. It has that vibe to it though, that Rebecca art. I don't know. This is so irrelevant, but it's important to me, damn it. Do you guys want the penis flask? We can use it if you want. That's what it is. Let's just say it. Okay, so we'll probably put a Gilded Drake in. I think we're at capacity. I think we've hit the mark. Okay, I think we've done what we needed to do. I'm happy with where we've come. We found the sack outlets of choice. And we can move on. I think we can move on. Am I wrong? Legacy's Allure. Gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of treasure counters on Legacy Allure. Do love Legacy's Allure. Alright, let's tune in with you guys. Eldraine, Jesus. Seed Time looks like it could have been reprinted in Eldraine. Right? Hands down. Hands down. Like this. Let's just look at Seed Time. Is it one word? It's 2 words. It's 1 word. Doesn't that look like it came out of Eldraine? Like straight up out of Eldraine. There's even a girl in Eldraine that looks like this. Right? The girl, she's in a couple of... She's like on an enchantment, a white enchantment. Looks just like this. At any rate, it's gone up steadily in price. Is this like reserved or just... Are people using this now? Rare. Interesting. The hippo grows wings to fight the condor. Nantuko teaching. And really what that means in this story is that Moritte will grow persist to slay our opponents for the holiday season. Oh, is it on your turn? Never mind. Yeah, it's on your turn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's ruined. It's ruined. Seed Time's ruined. Let's look up, though. Search, library, artifact, because I'm never going to remember these blue cards. So we want to find... We want to find some artifacts. And what's sweet is all the creatures that find artifacts will probably use them too. With a mana ability or basic lands. Okay, so I don't want that. Probably don't need Urza's Saga. I'm going to leave it in there anyways, because you know what? It's fun. Transmute artifact will work for us though, right? Sacrifice already do. Search your library. Yeah, that's good. Oh god, just ignore the cost. Ignore the cost, people. And we'll use Transmute Artifact. You also have to do a lot of reading with this card, but it'll work. It'll work. Discard a artifact from your hand. Search your library for an... Nah, it's never going to work. Reshape. Search your library for an artifact card with your mana X or less and put it into the battlefield. Onto the battlefield? Yeah, that makes more sense. Then shuffle your library. Cool. That is going to find... So what's nice about this is Lesser Massacre... All of our sack outlets, they're things that are artifacts, so we want those things. Search your library, yeah, fabricate. You sound like a necessary evil to me. I don't like reshape a lot, but it might also be a necessary evil. Damn, don't I wish Tinker were usable. God, Tinker's so good. What a broken ass card. Tinker. Is it uncommon? Does that say uncommon? Wow. Moritte. Take some advice from Tinker, Moritte. That's what uncommons used to look like, by the way. Really good. Ridiculously good. Okay, so mana cost of 2, Tribute Mage, you've made the cut. 2 of our things. 2 of the things we want. You did it, girl. Congratulations. And Trophy Mage, you also made the cut. You also made the cut, girl. Look at you. Trophy Mage. That other mage, though? Trinket Mage? Just keep playing with your baubles. Don't need you. Whir of Invention is okay. We can use Whir. Let me just state that this list is going to be slow. If you haven't guessed. So we're probably going to need to rely on a few counters and some removal spells to get the job done, right? No rods or collector oofs in this deck. Don't want any of that stuff. But that's probably all the search library for artifact cards we want. I guess I didn't really miss that many. It's just these mages that I don't remember ever. They've just so many mages now. So many mages that do the thing. Come on, man. Why don't you give white a set of mages that find things? I'm always going to complain for white, you know? Gotta look out for my main color. All right, from Seb, Whir of Invention. Yeah. Whir of Invention. From Seb was the art I was thinking about. It's from Seb. I believe you're right. Okay, so we're gonna save and continue, and we're gonna add all of the tutors. All of the tutors. Green Sun Zenith. Always. Code of Calling. Always. What other creature tutors get you up in the morning? Finale, Odd Devastation. Does that do it for you? How about Mystical Tutor? Mystical Tutor's good, I've heard. We could probably get away. What is the Merchant Scroll? We could probably use Merchant Scroll here. We're just doing tutors right now. Just the toots. All I want are the toots. Hit me with your favorite toot. We did Neoform and Eldritch Evolution, right? So I don't need to think about those. Don't tell me about those. Worldly Tutor, though, we did not do. I don't think we're going to use any transmuters here. We're not that desperate. Would you go for Proliferate? Sometimes. It depends. Proliferate? So, let's see here. There's only 37 proliferators. That's kind of crazy. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know if we need proliferate. I probably wouldn't go for proliferate. Trying to do the deed on the same turn, right? I've never seen this guy before. No, I'm good. Proliferate's kind of cool, though. I mean, I like the concept of it, but I've never really played for it. I will tell you that. Okay. Urban Daggertooth. That's right. Okay. Spell Seeker. Yes, continue. What other tutors get you up in the morning? Which are the ones that you wake up for and that you think about at night when you're asleep? Tell me. Natural Order. Natural Order's a toughie. We're not really relying on any green things. Not really relying on any green things, so I don't know if Natural Order is going to be a big one for us. Right? I mean, am I wrong? Is there a green creature here that's like super... Nope. Not a 1 other than Moritte. We can just put Moritte in the 99. Switch list. You know, if we use that Kelpie, though... Hold up. Maybe we go Persist Kelpie mode. Is that Kelpie split cost? Fuck. River Kelpie, the only useful one. Trapjaw Kelpie. We could go for a Woodfall Primus, right? You know, if we nat ordered a Woodfall Primus, I wouldn't hate that. But mind you, you're only really hitting one person with this initially, right? Again, it's not worth putting a Natural Order. And yes, I'm aware. We can go with Airy Oofs. We could go for Airy Oofs. God. Okay. So, I know it was mentioned, like, the Phyrexian Altar. Where is that thing? Right here. Alright, so this kills the board. This kills the board. This makes infinite mana. What is infinite mana to us? Well, I guess it's a really good Blue Sun Zenith, right? But we'll put that in there. Or really good Green Sun Zenith. This has got to be a green creature. It's really going to be for Dryad Arbor, which I didn't put in the deck. What is wrong with me? Okay, so that's not there. We probably removed that. What I was thinking is that if we were going to go for Simic Ascendancy as a win, right? 1 or more +1/+1 counters to opponent creature you control, put that many +1/+1, or put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. So this doesn't really discriminate like on how those counters occur. So we don't really need infinite colored mana to do the thing with Phyrexian Altar, despite going for the supreme flex of having a foil Invasion Phyrexian Altar. Just sacrificing Moritte does the job. So maybe, just maybe, we do use the Airy Oof. Hate saying that. We use the Airy Oof. We use the Woodfall Primus. No, we'll just use Airy Oof. Let's just not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's not go too crazy. Gotta get at least the foil version, okay? Gotta go for the foil one at least. And then we'll use Natural Order. Then it makes sense to me. Okay. Let's see here. Personal tutor, survival of the fits. Yeah, we could probably do a survival of the fits. Yeah. Well, I didn't really add any dorks or anything of that nature, but I'm sure they're gonna make their way into this list, right? I'm just gonna do some basic cards that make general sense. So I just did a Sylvan Library. I'm gonna add Ristic Study and then Mystic Remora, right? Because those just gonna go in the list anyways, right? But yeah, there are transmute cards. Sadly, we don't have enough creature overlap with other players for Mask of no, we don't. Sadly, I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going for Lesser Massacre unless it's my Oswald deck. Okay. Solve the equation. You could solve the equation. Let's solve the equation. Do that. Personal. So personal tutor is a tricky one. Personal is only sorcery, and it's like to the top of deck, and that's probably gonna hit. It's probably gonna hit the. Well, what sucks is that Natural Order needs to sacrifice a green creature. Natural Order is one of those funky ones that really cares about green creatures, right? So maybe we're going to add dorks here in a second. Fauna Shaman, wish it had better art. Speaking of art, Fauna Shaman would be fine. I think I'll probably stop at Survival, though. Probably stop there. I'm just putting in cards that are staples, in my opinion. These are things that kind of belong in every list that contains these colors. All right, are blue artifact tutors worth considering here for alternate massacre? Yeah, we've added a handful, and I think they make sense. I don't think I added Fabricate yet. No, I did. Fabricate, right there. Infinite mana is Simic Ascendancy win. You don't need the infinite mana though, because you're getting the +1/+1 counters allocated as she enters, so it will do the thing. It'll just do the thing by itself. You don't need to make mana to put +1/+1 counters. You just get the +1/+1 counters. Only problem with Sotfa is there's very little to discard with it. Yeah. So I must have missed it. We are doing some sort of persist combo kill for sure. Woodfall Primus and Glenelendra Archmage feel like good fits. Woodfall Primus, I'm still iffy on. If I was going to Natural Order, to be perfectly honest, if we're doing Simic Ascendancy, it feels more appropriate to go for Airy Oofs. But yes, I still agree that like Woodfall Primus is fine because we can go to Woodfall Primus and if we just have a sack outlet, then we really crush the board. Might as well. Might as well. Give ourselves as many persisters as possible. Why not? Why not? Do I think that we have an excessive amount? Kind of. But I think this is okay. Okay. Ristic Study, not found, huh? I'm calling bullshit there. Friendo. Okay, so we've got a lot of slots left. We have all of our toots, all of our persist, all of our outlet. Hold up. Whenever creature, graveyard, opponent. Is this too many words? Let's see. Let's see. Simic. Sacrifice a creature, target opponent gains control of Jinx String permanently. Let's see here. Whenever you cast an artifact spell at the beginning of your end step, no. Nope, none of these things. Okay, I was just trying to see if there was if there's some form of overlap with our general effects here. Enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. No, okay. So our outlets are the win cons, and those outlets are Altar of Dementia and Blasting Station, right? We just need to get these doodads in place, our persisters. Although, let me state that as those are our sack outlets and they should be doing the job already, it's things like Woodfall Primus just feel overkill because it's already, we should be winning the game just by having our outlets down. And we don't have any sack outlets that don't win us the game, quote unquote, right? So the oof is just to play with Simic Ascendancy. Woodfall Primus, when we do Woodfall Primus, can't we just target our own damn thing? Give me 1 second. Oh my god, Woodfall Primus. Destroy target non-creature permanent. Jesus. Enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent. Excuse me. So I thought it was said non-landed first. It would have been cool if Woodfall Primus could target the Moritte. Or rather, Moritte could target herself, but well, I don't know. That doesn't seem necessary. Never mind. We'll take that out. I thought it said land, non-land. I totally mistaken there. I'm not high on this because our sack outlets are doing the job anyways. All right. No, we didn't do crop rotation. You are right. I looked up tutors for artifacts and I looked up tutors for creatures, but we should definitely consider crop rotation. It's one of the better tutors in the game. I don't think we need Green Sun Zenith either. There's not great targets for Green Sun Zenith. Natural Order, mind you, Natural Order is going to be used off of like an elf. So we should probably consider some dorks here. Like Birds of Paradise are going to be good. Birds of Paradise are good. Llanowar Elves, I'm told, are decent. All the elves are escaping me. Are we going to go for an Arbor Elf? Or not Arbor Elf? Yeah, Arbor Elf's the one that untaps a forest. We could do the Fine Horn Elves. Which did I miss? I don't know if we want to use every single elf, right? Like Elvish Mystic. There's a couple of other ones. Wait up. Birds of Paradise. I'm not going to use Boreal Druid. You can name some elves. Y'all can name some elves. If you want some elves, you name some elves. Mystic Grimoire, we're using Compost. I'm going to avoid. You could use it if you'd like. The Great Henge is bonkers with Persist. Bonkers, you say. The Great Henge. The Great Henge, you say. Speaking of Eldraine, so this is a card that came from Eldraine. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. So if you needed... Okay, so this is a healthy part of a Persist diet, I gotta say. So our Persisters with the Great Henge, it's its own self-enclosed thing. You know, I don't hate the Great Henge, Carl Webb. Look at you. Okay, you know what? We'll do the Great Henge. I actually really like the Great Henge here. Because if for some reason Moritte is not allowed to enter the battlefield, right? Like, in the very likely, the very likely possibility of seeing a Drannith Magistrate, you could use the Great Henge to sort of circumvent that issue with any Persister, right? Because again, as this reads, whenever a non-token creature, so our Persisters, our Lesser Massacre, whatever, can come back and be totally fine. Coupled with the fact that the Airy Oof, our friend the Airy Oof, can sacrifice itself, come back and draw the deck. It's actually a really cool idea. And then again, we don't need Moritte necessarily for that to work. So I like that. Priest of Titania will fit with the Rebecca Guy theme. Allosaurus Shepherd is fun. Elf. We're not, no, not Elf Ball, not Elf Ball. I don't want us to get carried away. I don't want Elf Ball. I do want dorks though. So like add mana. And honestly, let's just look at add. Tap this permanent, right? I think it's kind of important that we go for a fair amount of dorks. Like our Eldritch Evolution and our Neo form are going to be important. So we can even go for like 2 CMC dorks, like your Priest of Titania. Let me just see what the all of them look like, right? So we've got all this stuff. I don't know about Renown. So like some of the ones that say tap and like you generate mana for creatures, maybe we do that. A Jiraga Tree Speaker makes sense in my mind. Maybe we go for Draga Tree Speaker. It's part of a slower strategy, though. But it's fine. We can use Draga Tree Speaker here. Because we need the mana. We definitely need the mana. Bloom Tender's not going to go that far. Remove -1 counters. Tell me more. Tell me more. Yeah. So, like, there's this guy. He seems okay. I don't know, Beast Caller Savant. I don't know about you, Beast Caller Savant. I just don't know about you, dude. I don't trust you. I really don't want you at my daughter's quinceañera. I just don't. I don't have a daughter. Don't know where I was going with that, but I don't want you there. Yeah, I really don't. Okay, that's probably where we're gonna stop then, because none of these other ones make a total lot of sense. Has a +1. It needs to have the +1 counters on itself. I mean, Incubation Druid with our girl is kind of cute. Not really. If you have 4 more creatures, you get +2/+2 or +2 green instead. God, why is Rofellos? Justice for Rofellos. Can we be honest? Why is Rofellos banned? He's not that good. All right. Anyway, let's see here. We've got Priest of Titania. Yeah, I'm gonna get there. I think that Priest is probably the only 2 CMC one we're gonna add, right? Unless there's a new one or like there's a Simic one I'm just unawares of, but I don't see. Did I skip over Priest? How does she read? I might have skipped over Priest of Titania. Well, we'll add her, and that'll be the last one. Because we do need to add removal and countermeasures in a second. But let me tune in with you guys. Sorry, I went a little on Elf Ball. You're good. Bloom Tender. I don't know how I feel about Bloom Tender here. It's just not going to do enough. Removal might be good for more at target 2. Again, slower, but there might be something you need to get gone to do a thing. I think that so far as removal is concerned in this list, like things like the things that are going to be our bane are going to be things that say you can't activate your artifacts. Because, again, Blasting Station and Altar of Dementia are our bread and butter here, right? With our Persister and Moritte. The Great Henge with the Oof is really cool. Am I mistaken? I think that's a self-enclosed combo, and we can obviously test that in a second, but it makes sense when I say it out loud, so that's pretty cool. It's sort of a 1-2 punch, a very expensive 1-2 punch, but it's there. And then obviously if it has the -1 counter on it already, that's no good, but then again, Moritte can come in and sort of double down on that same effect. So anything that is an artifact or creature that says artifacts, well, it's like silent. What is it? There's the white enchantment that does it, Stony Silence. There's Collector Oof that's very common, and then there's Null Rod that's very common. So that's their general artifact hate. Those are the big ones, and nothing else other than those really hamper us. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we want so far as removal is concerned, and obviously a fair amount of counter magic. And we can talk about what counter magic we want in a second. But we should also consider fast mana, which we haven't touched whatsoever. Don't know if it's in the list yet, but Malira Selvok Outcast is good with the Persist combo. Malira is sort of like her own thing too. We'll look up Sylvan. I'm mistaken. Where is she? Is that her name? There you go. Sylvok Outcast. Excuse me. Whenever a creature gets, you can't have -1 counters on it. Yeah. She's good with it. She's probably better at it. She's probably just better at doing it. But yeah, we're gonna stick with Moritte. This would be cool to like Green Sun Zenith out and do the thing with, but we're gonna stick with Moritte because you know. But yeah, you're right. You could probably add that and make this more consistent. Any use for Kinnan or Thrasios in the 99? I'm sure there's always a use for ramp and card quality, you know, card advantage, but we're probably going to avoid them. So Rexage is a bad idea. Rexage is never really a bad idea. I'm not really high on it, though. If we want to do... I think we're just going to use single target removal for the most part. The body on Rexage is good, though, because Rexage or Manglehorn, right? Because if we were to incorporate them, we can Eldritch Evolution into our Oof or any of the Persisters, right? So it's not a bad idea. I might put Manglehorn in. I'm a little bit higher on Manglehorn because it does have the additive benefit of making it so our opponent's artifacts enter the battlefield tap, looking at Udok's side, right? This I prefer a little bit more. And as I stated, it seems like Null Rod's like the greatest offender, so, you know, we at least hit that. Have you dipped your toes in Canadian Highlander? I'm just getting into it and I enjoy it quite a lot. No, I haven't, but I'm glad to hear that. Gilded Dragon, Malevolent Hermit. I've got Gilded Dragon here, not the Hermit though, but I bet you it's good. I have a silly idea of Mind Over Matter as Zombie Lady of Scrolls for Oracle type win con. Free Raphaelos, or keep him in your mind for your no ban list videos. Yeah, we should just do a Raphaelos deck. I would love to do a Raphaelos deck to see if it's really that good. Croson Grip, Nature's Claim, Return to Nature. Oh shit. Oh, this is the removal script. Okay. Oh god. Wait, fast mana first, Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt. Soul Ring. Mana Crypt, Soul Ring. Don't need Mana Vault, but we want Mox Diamond. We're gonna go for Chrome Mox. We do Jeweled, Lotus, Lotus Petal. You're about to hear my heater in a second. Lotus Petal. Maybe we do Arcane Signet, and then we call it a day with that. Simic Sig, right? Simic Sig, and that's probably all I want. You could do like a Felwar Stone. Did I miss any of the 1 and under? I don't think so. I don't think Mana Vault's really great here either. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Okay, that's probably it for fast mana. Oh, I'm sorry. You could do the you could do Spirit Guide here. You could do the Elvish Spirit Guide. I think she would make a great deal of sense. So then that's really the only fast mana I want to incorporate. Yeah. Okay. But yes, we could do some removal now. Thank you, Matt, for Spirit Guide. And yeah, Manglehorn only does target artifacts, but honestly, that static effect is so darn good. It really does come in handy, especially when people forget it's there. They like power out some strategy, or like they do their ad nauseum, and they're like, "Oh, I'm kind of stuck here because I can't put my fast mana down, right?" And benefit off of it. So it's actually a really cool effect. Glenorlendra with Great Henge seems good. Yeah, we have Glenorlendra. Do you mean the Archmage? We have that in the list. We don't have Glenorlendra. I don't know. Is Glenorlendra good? Isn't Glenorlendra her own legendary? Am I mistaken? Are we talking about Glenorlendra Archmage now? Okay. But yeah, that with Great Henge is great. That with Great Henge is really great. Alright, so that covers our fast mana suite. We do want to put in some removal here. I liked what I was seeing. The first one I want to add, just so far as removal is concerned, is, oh my god, it's Chain of Vapor. It's just one of the best bouncy spells. And Cyclonic Rift, it's kind of still up there. One of the best bouncy spells. These aren't removal in the sense that the thing is gone, but they're quite good bounce effects to incorporate. I'll go for a natural state. And we could do Pongify and Rapid Hybridization, right? I like those quite a bit. Reality Shift, Resculpt. Resculpt is a newer one. Am I wrong? Wait, Resculpt. Do we like Resculpt? It's very diverse in what it hits. I like Resculpt. I like Resculpt. Those tokens look pretty cool too. We can throw in Resculpt. Unless there's like a better Simic thing. I really don't know the Simic removal spells. If you know like the suite of Simic cards that we should be utilizing, let me know. Can't think of anything off the top of my head like a good Simic modal spell, but let me know if I'm missing one. Yeah, Glenelendra Archmage. I know it's 4 CMC, but the combo is strong. Glenelendra Archmage? Glen Arch. Oh, no. She's in the list. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, she's in the list. It's good. I think it's good. High Tide, it might be a little too high of an expectation. I think it's fine, though. I don't think it's going to pop off here. It's a blue list, so adding Chain of Vapor for removal seems mandatory. Kind of, always, yeah. Chain of Acid. I'm okay. We can look at it. Chain of Ass. Destroy target non-creature permanent. Then that permanent's controller may copy this. Now, my only qualm with this is its cost is just a little too high. Otherwise, it's like it's a great card. You know, the thing that makes Chain of Vapor so good is the fact that they put it in one. They put it in 1 CMC. What? You're insane. You are insane. But that's what they did. So, cool. But yes, we should consider counters now. So I'm going to just throw in Delay. I'm going to throw in Force of Will. I'll do all the free ones first, right? So Force of Will, Pact of Negation. Now, I was just thinking of Force of Vigor. I don't think we've got that many green cards. Speaking of like the free green effects. All right. I don't know if we're going to use that. But we might use Force of Negation. And what's funny is that Fierce Guardianship, it's only good if Moritte is down. And I don't know if she's going to be down unless we're winning. And when we're doing that, then we do want Fierce Guardianship. That's a tricky one. These other three make enough sense to me. So we'll keep them, obviously. Miscast is a good one, a newie goodie. Nagate is a classic. Probably want to add Nagate. Mental Misstep, obviously. Spell Snare. It's quite good, I hear. And then, yeah, any other counter spells you want to add? I'm going to keep throwing some removal counter suite in here, but obviously I would love to take in your considerations for this before we close this out. And then, obviously, try this list, see if it works. Simic Charm and Quandrix Command. Might as well add Double Major. Double Mage. Copy target creature spell you control, except it isn't legendary. That's kind of cool, right? That's kind of cool. I don't know if Double Major has... I don't know what kind of play lines we have with Double Major otherwise. Swan Song's great, yes. Simic Charm, though. I want to look at these modal ones really quick. Permanency control getting hexproof. Oh, I like that. Return target creature to its owner's hand. It's kind of cool. Those two ones at the bottom are good. The top one's okay. You know what we didn't add, though, is the Veil of Summer. That's sort of a must. I think we want Veil of Summer. Simic Charm, I'm almost convinced. Quandrix Command, though. I remember covering this one. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. And then you get to do counters. Simic Ascendancy. Target player shuffles up to 3 cards from their graveyard into the library. I'm gonna pass on Quandrix Command. The Simic Charm I almost want to do. But Swan Song sounds great. Flusterstorm sounds great. These all sound great. I think classic counter spell. I'm gonna go for the Mana Drain. I feel like counterspells is finding less and less of a place. There's so many good counters that counterspell is oddly not as good as some of the more direct counter measures that are less or have generic in their cost. That's weird to say, but it's still good. Archmage's Charm. This is a 3 CMC one, right? Mana Drain can help you get the combo pieces down. Yes, you're absolutely right. Mana Drain is like a key. I think Mana Drain is going to be like a key card here. Veil of Autumn is fine. If I can find it. Veil of Autumn. Am I spelling this horribly wrong? I am, aren't I? If you can't spell the name of the card, you don't deserve the card. So, well, Veil of Summer is the one you really want anyways. Anyway. Ponder, Preordain, Get Probe, Opt. Just so far as like card quality effects are concerned, I don't think these would hurt. I mean, it's certainly, we don't have space for it, but we can consider doing a Ponder. Let's do this. Ponder, Preordain. And what's odd is like, sometimes you just want these cards in your 99 so that you have something to discard to your Force of Will. But yeah, Gitaxian Probe is okay. I don't know if Gitaxian Probe is always a must for me, but I know a lot of people really love it. Dispel, Dispel, Dispel. We got Dispel in there. And on that note, let's go ahead and see if we can just tweak this and add some of those card quality effects in. And if you guys want to check out the list and play test it with me, you're more than welcome to. It should be in the link in the description there. We should probably go for the Talisman over this, but it's fine. You can sort of switch those around. Look at this art. So damn good. So let's start here. Artifacts are great. I think, again, you swap that out, but yeah. It's Talisman of... I might as well do it. I mean, I'm saying it, right? So might as well do it. It's Curiosity. Okay, let's do that. Talisman of Curiosity. Let's give ourselves the better option. Yep. And now let's work on adding in some of those card quality effects. So, all of our artifacts look great. I know some of the Mausoleum Wanderers, it's iffy. I don't think we have another spirit or anything to really benefit off this. Sacrifice it, counter target instant sorcery spell. Let's control plays X or X is its power. It's super cute and unnecessary. I just really wanted to try it. But yeah, it's probably not necessary. Mystic Armoristic Study, yep. Survival of the Fittest, yep. Sylvan Library, yep. Simic Ascendancy, we wanted to do it, so we're doing it. Okay? All of these look good. Not a bad card. Not a bad card in this pile of instants. Yeah, that's as many instants as a blue list should have, minimum. 27. That seems about right. Natural Order is fine. Solve the Equation. Would we rather that over a card quality effect? I couldn't really tell you. Do you Ponder or do you Preordain? Which comes first in your mind? Probably Ponder, right? Although I guess there's use cases for either, but Ponder seems like the better card quality effect. I think these are all good, though. That's probably where we land here. Solve the Equation finds an instant or sorcery. I guess the instant or sorcery we'd be going for is, depending on the situation, like the Nat Order, the Neoform. It really depends what you need, but it just gets you what you need. So I like that. I think we're in a good spot, though, with this list right now. Let me know. Hey, 420 just blaze. The Fish and Study are already in the deck. They are indeed. Sorry, mistyped. The card is Autumn's Veil. Oh, that's fine. We've got so much in the deck that I think we're probably good where we're at. Oko is a card. Yeah, Oko is a card. We could certainly consider adding Oko. It's such a stupid threat. Thief of Crowns specifically. Let me put that on the sideboard, and yes, that is something that you should definitely consider doing. So, yeah. Right, and let's test this puppy out. Let's give this puppy a test walk. Huh? Let's see if it's any good. Because I'm curious. Oh yeah, don't forget Oko as well as Dispel. Sorry, but I have to ask, what are the lines for with Grinding Station? Did I add Grinding Station? I'm sorry. Wait up. If you did add Grinding Station, all you would be doing is grinding your opponents out, and it would be lesser Master Core with Moritte. Don't want this hand. Yeah, despite the Soul Ring you see there, no. It could have been an okay hand, but it's not. It's not at all. Oh my god. Okay, so flooded. Okay, we can keep this. We can keep this. It's fine. It's a lot of ramp. I don't know why I'm shuffling, but I did. Okay, so we'll do this. Oh, actually, this really shaped up. So do this into our. What is the Simic one? Who cares, right? No one likes Simic. That's a lie. It's but I don't remember what it is. Tropical rainforest, tropical islands, tropical islands. God, okay. Trop Islands. Do the Soul Ring. What a top deck. Do the Arcane Signet. Do the Arbor Elf. Pass. Pass with a smile on your face. Okay, you did enough, friend. You did enough. Go for the islands. Oh, we're really screwed now. Now, the only issue with this whole scenario is the fact that she only copies things we control. So, this is what pisses me off about this card, and what we didn't really get to talk about in the beginning. I did mention this briefly, but she's 5 CMC, and she only copies permanents you control. So, it would be great if you could copy that opposing Tymna or Crom or whatever for value, but you can't. So you need to rely on what you have, and what we have is just ramp. Annoying. Kind of annoying. So, it doesn't quite make sense in my world to do this right now, but we can, and it gives us Fierce Guardianship. We could just hard cast this, honestly. We could honestly just hard cast this. So, you could put her on the field and, like, that's a stupid idea. So I'm just going to say we pass and let's cross our damn fingers on some value to come up. Let's say we need a Swan Song off turn. Sure. Okay. Spell Snare. This is a really bad scenario. What I'm going to do is just draw and see what we get, because all we're doing is staving off people, right? So, okay. We would have eventually gone into something that was necessary. But yeah, that was bad. This is where scenarios where you're like, okay, man, I really wish I could steal value with this. Because otherwise, you know, having a commander in the command zone that just equates to value is always better. Like Thrasios paired with anything else, right? That wasn't the assignment today, though, so I'm not going to complain about it anymore. But that shit pisses me off. She's 5 CMC. You can make her better. Remember? Tinker. Tinker's uncommon, and that shit's freaking gas. So, do I want to keep this? Solely because that damn great henge. Let's see if we pull a land. I just wanted a land. Oh, God. It might have been like a risky, decent keep if we pulled the land there, because then I would have, you know, I would have loved this scenario. And then obviously going into Great Henge, and then we get value, and we've got, you know, countermeasures, creatures, and a lot of cool shit going on. That the trophy mage wouldn't have been there, but at any rate. So we've got a way to find the thing we need, artifact-wise, either Blasting Station, Ultra Dementia, and we've got the thing we need to find potentially a combo creature, right? Neoform on a dork to Lesser Mastercore, something like that, right? We found out that we can get the mana we need necessary pretty quickly. Like that first hand we kept was not bad. We've got a little bit of mana here. Is this a good hand? Not really. It really needed a dork to put it over the edge. Monk's Diamond, like the fast mana rocks are not as good in this sense. And giving ourselves Pact of Negation, like, in my opinion, if all you can do with your hand is stop other people from winning, it's not enough. Like, that's, as cute as that is, it's not enough. Is this an okay hand? Enough for me to keep and illustrate, but I don't think this is a great hand. Mana Drain does help, though. Mana Drain does help a lot. So we want to get to the point where we can... we just want to rip that Mana Drain, right? And ideally on someone's ad nauseum. So we'll do that. We'll get rid of the forest, because who the hell needs forest? Am I right? You know what I mean? Who needs forest? All right, so we've got the Mana Drain open. Bam! Someone cast their ad nauseum. You know what? Fuck you. Stupid. Stupid move. And then now we have... we've got 5 mana. Sure. Turn 1 ad naus. Happens every day. Boop, 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 boop. And next turn. Okay. So we've got that 5 mana floating. let's go ahead and do a fabricate. You get your artifacts. Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, how can we win the game with ad nauseum mana right now? Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. Okay, so we only have 2. We need a persister. We need the Airy Oof and Great Henge, right? That's a 1-2 punch. We need a persister with Moritte and a sack outlet. Neoform. Okay, so if we had... I wish that one of our sack outlets was a creature, because we could... The fact that our thing, it's a persist line of play is nice, because we can sacrifice those creatures for value, but if we could sack the persister to find the value piece and like win, that'd be amazing. Like in Oswald, you break Lesser Mastercore and find Blasting Station and you go, right? But that is a pod list. It's a little different in nature. What do we fabricate for, though? What do you fabricate for? Let me know. Okay. Swarmyard can regenerate Moritte. That's actually a really cool thought. Yes, it could. It could. Turn 1, 4 permanents. That's when the table gets ticked at you. Pedal Opt, then get the land. I see the line. Or Trop Island. Breedy Pool or Trop Island. So, in this instance, I think we were just going to fabricate for one of our solutions, our win-con solutions. Namely, Blasting Station. And as odd as it is... Oh, you know what, though? Wait up. Because if we did... Wait, Great Henge. Great Henge costs 9 mana. Because the thing we can do, we could put Elvish Spirit Guide down and get a Persister off of Neoform, but I think it has to be equal to 1+. I don't think any of our Persisters are 4 CMC. Let me look really quick. Because we can always just hard cast our Elvish Mystic, right? Is Glenna? No, Glenalendra is... She's 4. Oh yeah. Okay. Here, then we'll do that. Okay, so we'll get the fine Blasting Station. We could hard cast this, as crazy as that is, because we can Neoform her to find Glenalendra, which is not a bad idea. Right? We can't do that now, obviously. Maybe we go for the Altar of Dementia off of the Fabricate instead, just because we're able to cast it and make use of our mana. And it's not like, if I was holding up a Swan Song or something, I would, any 1 CMC spell, I would have just screwed the extra generic. But at least this way I get as much as I can off of it. This is a very odd play. I would never really recommend you go to just hard cast Elvish Spirit Guide. But we're not going to use our counter. Like, we already stopped in ad nauseum this game, apparently. So we're not going to bother with a Pact of Negation if we don't have to. Well, mind you, in this scenario, we're kind of pinched because we really want to put Moritte down. But we really want to put her down when there's a Persister. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mana available. If we go for Glenalendra, right, sack this. That's 3 CMC into Glen. Glen comes in with a +1/+1 counter. Right, which is kind of cool because that means she can die once and we're okay. So right now we're in a good spot because Glenalendra has a +1/+1 counter on her and she has Persist. And we have blue open to sacrifice and counter target non-creature spell. So we're in a decent spot. We're very close to winning. So if someone tries to cut down our Altar of Dementia here, we're able to use Glenalendra to stop that. She'll come back and still have Persist, right? The +1/+1 counter, I guess, is less relevant here because she'll come back with a -1 counter. Even still. It's a 3/3 flyer, and she has that on her. So that's cool. I do think that we're good going into the next turn. Let's just say that we needed to do that, and she'll come back with a -1 counter. There's no great way to represent that, so I'll just leave this one up. But yeah, we had to use her to stop a thing that was going to cut down the Altar Dementia. If we pull into a land, we win here, right? win. No, we didn't. There's no way we can Noxious Revival the land we need either, right? I mean, yeah, we do have a land in our grave. Right now it's just a passing play, sadly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, Moritte being so damned expensive is kind of hampering us, but the end goal here would be to get Moritte down, copy Gledalendra, right? So provided we don't need to force our hand on Gledalendra, we still have the Persister necessary to win the game on our next turn. We were trying to do it now, but there's no great way. You know, we can't draw on this turn. I'm just looking at this art because it's so cool. We can't draw on this turn, and there's no way to put her down. So we could just wait, ensure that on the next turn we get the land we need. Let's just, in case we're like worried about opposition agent or some shit like that, let's just put the forest on top, right? Does this resolve? If it resolves, cool, we get our forest. They see that we're trying to make this play. We get the forest on top. We pull the forest on our next turn. We play the forest. We cast Moritte. This is where they're like, okay, time to do the thing. And then you're like, okay, no, we'll Pact of Negation. And then we have the ability to, because Moritte has Persist and has +2, +1/+1 counters, the combo is just sacrificing Moritte indefinitely to mill our opponents out. Now, the only tricky bit is if someone has a Eldrazi Shuffler, at that point, you know, the idea here would be to pass, let them draw themselves out, let them draw themselves out, let them draw themselves out. You could technically, if you're playing casually and for funsies, you just say, I'm going to mill you until the Eldrazi is the last thing left. Because you could technically, it's slow play, but you could technically mill that person until the Eldrazi was the last thing left, unless the numbers didn't work out that way, right? Or it would be one of the few remaining at the bottom of their deck. The idea is you get them to that state where they're sort of left without a majority of their deck. And then you would try to win on your next turn somehow. There's no self-mill strategy here, so we wouldn't really be looking at that. And that's fine. At any rate, we can do one more hand. We do one more hand. This is interesting. I'm not hating this deck. I'm actually enjoying this deck. Oddly enough. I don't like that Moritte doesn't let me copy any permanent. And I don't like that she's 5 CMC for only copying my own shit. I gotta be honest. In instances like this, though, like Moritte copying that Sylvan Library, that's pretty damn good. Like, that seems good to me. But again, that also narrows down our play lines, right? So unless we have a way to remove our own, you know, Moritte Sylvan Library, we're kind of screwed. I like this hand enough to keep it because the Sylvan Library. It's that good. Let me tune in with you guys, though, to see what's up. Gledalendra. Oddly, the mana drain had Force of Negation back up turn 1. Could have paid for mana drain, I guess. Yeah, sorry, I meant pay. Yeah, if we needed to, right? Is that how that works? Anyway, draw a card. Fabricate. Cool. I like all these cards. We'll do the Breeding Pool into the Llanowar Elves, and I'm happy with that. Next turn, we'll drop the Polluted Delta, and we'll just get the Trop Island, get that out of the way. We've got 3 mana right here. What we're gonna do is put down the Sylvan Library. Gotta do that first. And we just hold up the Spell Snare. Right? So any opposing Thassa's Oracle, Dockside, Underworld Breach, any sort of nonsense like that, that's what we're gonna hold for. If there's a counter war that we need to help in, then we have the Spell Snare still, right? Get rid of the counter spell, whatever, you know, delay, whatever's on the stack. Let's just pretend we don't need to deal with that. And we move on with life. So we're going to draw, unless life is really important as a resource outside of Sylvan Library, take the 3 cards. Always take all the cards. So next turn, okay, do this and 2 additional cards. Love it. Taking all of them, right? And we'll lose the life. I'm not going to track it here, but you would lose the life. That sounds great. Unless we really need to use the Misty Rainforest. And I can see an excuse for using a Mystic Sanctuary in this list. And Oko, which was mentioned earlier. I like Oko quite a bit. But Mystic Sanctuary, that makes a great deal of sense to me, right? We might be in a situation where we have the requisite islands, and then we can put instant sorcery card from our graveyard back on top of our library. That's great. Like I could see us using Mystic Sanctuary here because we're gonna have the influx of islands in many scenarios. Like islands, what we're gonna be shooting for most here. So I like that, but because we don't have that set up for ourselves, we can go for the Urza's Saga. It doesn't hurt having the generic cost, and it kind of gets us closer to just free mana. Ultimately, we're going to want the mana crypt to help us like propel into the victory here. So I don't mind that. What's also interesting is, I mean, I wish we could... What was the card? There was a card I was contemplating earlier, the Moonsilver Key. Oddly enough, Moonsilver Key, I think, gets our Great Henge, right? Artifact, search your library for an artifact with a mana ability, right? Because the Great Henge has a mana ability. We can actually use Moonsilver Key to find this. But again, you know, that's another thing we didn't put on the list. That is something that we should consider, especially because of how high the cost is to do our combo. It really wouldn't hurt. And the fact that it finds Great Henge, which is an outlet, and just a really solid all-around card for the deck. That's not bad. At any rate, Isaac, those are thoughts for you. If you're watching this and or considering building this, I would consider those cards with Oko. I'm sorry, Urza's Saga. Yeah, we'll do this, and this, and we'll fabricate. So here, I'm gonna fabricate, just get it out of the way. I want one of my solutions, so I'll just find Blasting Station now, and that's fine. Again, we're going to hold that. Let's just say we need to do this off turn. Spell Snare. We did it. Great. And next turn, bloop, draw, draw, draw. Sweet. Love it. We'll do the Mox Diamond into the... let's just do the... Oh, you know what? Let's just say that we're worried about a Blood Moon or something. So we will keep the Misty Rain Force for that. And I'll put a Command Tower down in this instance. Cool. And let's go ahead and just drop the Blasting Station. If we need to Chain of Vapor our own Blasting Station to hand just to save it, then we do that. It's fine. But we'll do this. Cool. And we get the Veil of Summer as well. So a good deal of protection here. It's not going to be a black card that tries to remove the Blasting Station, but someone might use a blue card to do that. Resculpt, maybe. I'll tune in with you guys. I don't know if anyone's said anything. Carpet of Flowers, thank you, is what Silent Spirit, I'm assuming is suggesting. Yes, Carpet of Flowers is a piece of ramp that we should consider. We didn't add it, but it's definitely also there. So the 3 cards I mentioned, Carpet of Flowers. Let's see here. Any self-sacrifice besides the altars, greater good, etc.? No greater good. No, just needs to make mana. Yeah, no greater good. It wouldn't hurt, but it doesn't really draw us net cards, right? Like Moritte, she'll be at most, what was the Glenalendra? Glenalendra was a 2/2, and it comes in as a, you would go up a card. You could use greater good, right? It was something that we were contemplating, but I didn't, with Lesser Massacre and Glenalendra, only Glenalendra would, well, because of the +1/+1 counters, I guess you would always net at least 1 card. So it's not bad. We should probably consider greater good potentially over Altered Dementia, but at least Altered Dementia is more easily tutored in the list, right? Greater good is not, it's an enchantment. It's not very easily tutored. We just need to draw it. But even still, I do like it. But we're going to go just cast this and move on with life. There's not really a greater play, but that's fine. This is going pretty slowly. Oops. Did not mean to draw an additional card. It's going pretty slowly, but it's fine. Okay, so we've got, again, we're just drawing all the cards. Oh, yeah, this triggers. We'll float the generic. We'll break, let that go, and then we'll get... we're going to cast this Arcane Signet in a second. But we'll get the Mana Crypts. It's a 0 or 1 CMC artifact. Onto the battlefield. I don't think that there's any other 0 or 1 CMC thing we want. Not really. Like Mana Vault could help if we're trying to push out the win. That's about it though. Kind of wish we got that Great Henge off the top. Jeez. All right, but you can see where this particular line of play is going. We're just trying to find the solution necessary. We've got all the creature tutors basically for this. We're just not finding them, sadly. And we've been drawing 3 cards a turn, so it's like, you know, inevitably we're going to find it. So ultimately, I mean, we found a lot of lands out of the 29 lands we have, and we don't have that many options to stop someone from doing a thing. So we're kind of narrow on our ability to hamper our opponents. We're not missing lands though, at least that's fine. This hand has been going okay, but we did put ourselves out in the open. We're kind of ass out with a blasting station, but I did just want to get it down. And it's not a huge threat unless it becomes a threat. So I don't think people are going to worry about it until we're trying to win with that. Sylvan Library is arguably the biggest threat on our board, and we've got a lot of fast mana here. Yes, you could use the Mana Crypt to cast the Arcane Signet. It's super, I mean, we know our hand. It's hyper irrelevant. We don't need to feign like all of these are counters. It's fine. We'd probably end our turn by boop, dropping that and moving on with life. Out of sheer curiosity, I just want to know what the next 3 cards are. Nothing. Yeah. It's gonna be a long game until we find what we need, right? Solve the equation. Jeez, it's finally getting there. But yeah, sometimes you just don't draw. You just don't draw into the solutions. This is 94% competitive. Wow. Before we close this out, though, I do want to put those sideboard options we talked about. Sorry, Carpet of Flowers. And what else did I state? Greater Good, right? Greater Good was a decent option. I mentioned 2 other cards that would be decent. And this is just so that this is here for folks that want to build Moritte. Those considerations are a good idea. I'm not remembering what they are. That's okay. Okay. Consecrated Sphinx is maybe just a little expensive, but would probably help. Kinnan is fine, but Shin, I don't know, like, mana wasn't an issue. Like, us having mana wasn't a big issue. It was just having the cards necessary to win in hand. And unfortunately, because Persist requires, in most instances, Persist requires, Moonsilver Key, Persist requires at least 3 cards to get the job done. That it's tricky. There's some water. Another consideration could be Narset. And this would be Parter of Veils, I assume. You know what I do like, though? I like Narset's Reversal. Now, I highly value, and these are seldom often played, but the copy effects, like, these are good cards. At its worst, Twincast reads to me Counterspell. At its worst. At its best, Twincast reads to me Demonic Tutor. And can you see the amount of scenarios in the games we just played where Twincast copying someone else's tutor would have meant the world? It would have resolved so many issues for us, right? Blue has a lot of copy spells that just aren't played simply because people value their counters more. But what I'm saying is Twincast is better than your average counter by and large because it can give you anything. That's instant or sorcery, which is a bulk of a cEDH game. So I really do think that we should also consider our copy spells because Moritte, I don't think, I added Carpet. I don't think we were having issues again with the mana necessarily. Carpet, you should certainly add still. It was finding the solutions we needed to win on the fly. I do think Twincast and any other copy effects would be good. Like Narset's Reversal is a really cool one. I would say that's really the only one people do play because of the added value of it. People enjoy that you've made them waste their mana to put the spell back in their hand. It's cute. Narset Parter of Veils would be fine as a stacks piece and as a card value piece. I'm not sure. Between Oko and It, I actually kind of favor Narset just a little bit more because we did need the dig. So yeah, I would say that Narset could find a home here, and I'll put that in the sideboard as well for folks that are interested in building this. These are definitely things that should find their way in. And let me tune in with you guys before we close this out. So, okay. And I'm going to save this. So this will exist for anyone who wants to make a Moritte deck and see what the shape of snow looks like. I honestly don't think this is bad. Like, I really did not... Excuse my voice here. I really like this. I think that there are inherent flaws with Moritte's design. They really stubbed their toes on a lot of cards. And with Moritte, they really should have made it so that you can copy any permanent. I'm sorry. At 5 CMC, this is just too much. This is just too much for this effect. I don't care that she comes in with +1/+1 counters. I don't know if she would have been breaking other formats if it allowed me to copy any permanent. But only permanents you control really hampers your effectiveness with this card. Particularly because those same permanents are legendary, right? So you actually have to skirt around that legendary ruling. Which isn't going to be a huge issue, but you're noticing more and more legendaries in these sets, mostly to appeal to commander players, but it's just another, you know, nick against Moritte the Frost, unfortunately. Regardless, she is a really cool legendary, and I don't mind this playstyle. We were fortunate with some of our hands and unfortunate in certain ways as well, but she certainly is more than viable. All right. That was good to be a target of Sphinx. I believe you. Can you neoform Moritte into Sphinx maybe? Yeah, that'd be cool. Mind you, Moritte, when you copy a thing, it takes on all of the qualities of that thing. So you would wanna like Eldritch Evolution your Glenelendra, or I mean Sphinx is cute. I'm not sure that it's a huge. We can do like a Finale of Devastation. I'm trying to think of the easiest ways to get Consecrated Sphinx out, but I wouldn't make it a huge priority for this deck. Not necessarily, but it's something you can do, for sure. Been playing bad Corvold, so I got used to Grinding Station. Yeah, Grinding Station's great, especially with Dockside. It's just a thing. Mass Draw Prosperity, Twin Cast, yes. Wandering Archaic's cool. Greater Good is certainly a good mass draw concept for the list, though. I think this deck needs to see more cEDH play to get better, which it probably won't. Yeah, in fact, that's really the issue. It's up to us to shape these lists, and obviously, if Moritte has a following, or you know that someone's interested in playing Moritte, hand this to them. I think that this is a good start. What we built today is fairly decent. Like, I don't dislike this. Obviously, practice makes perfect, and it allows us to shape how these decks are played. And your own meta is really going to shape the kind of cards you put in these lists, like those few flex spots. Like, how do you interact with your opponents, and how do you make sure that your strategy gets to go off? But otherwise, I really enjoyed More of the Frost, and I enjoyed brewing it with you guys. So thanks for joining me on this live stream. As I do with all these live streams, I like to thank our Patreon community for helping to make all of this possible. You guys are the best. This has been a wonderful year. I can't believe how far this channel has come, and obviously we've had to slow down the pace of the content on here, but that really hasn't stopped my personal enjoyment of this. And of course, your support has come such a long way in helping make all this possible, so thank you guys so much. I enjoy doing these live streams. I like making these more of a late night special, so hopefully this is fun for you guys, showing up around 7 p.m. EST or wherever you are. If it's earlier in the morning for you, I'm sorry. But in my mind, I've been wanting to make these more of like a late night showing. So I was contemplating 8 p.m., but I do have to work in the mornings on Mondays. So I don't want to go out too much later than 10. But of course, we can keep perfecting the schedule here. Regardless, Brew Masters, cold brews, expect more. And I want to do a showing of some altars very soon. Showcase some work I had done, and showcase, or spotlight rather, an altar artist that I really enjoy. So that might be a special we do. At any rate, again, my name is Patrick Marlett, and happy brewing, babies.